and thank you all to be here after lunch. It's difficult always, but still you all have made it here. So thanks a lot. So before I begin with the presentation, I would just like to say just a sentence: is transcendence from conflict to Shanti. I chose this topic because I think that is the fundamental and basic thing that we all need to do on the individual level, personal level, as well as globally, politically, geopolitically, environmentally, and at all steps in life. I feel that our civilization at this point of time really needs to make a paradigm shift as to why we are here, who we are, and what is the goal of our life. And we all, irrespective of our religious culture, whatever it is, I feel Upanishadic tradition gives us a perspective and insight into understanding that if we are not going to make this shift, we may not exist longer. If this civilization has to exist, flourish, and continue to grow, then it is high time that we think about this topic. And therefore, I thought I will take a few moments and talk about this topic. So, I'm not a very fan of slides, but let me see how it goes. Okay. So, we will start with this Upanishadic mantra and then we'll go. So, ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. So we are talking about this last expression that we just said, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What is this? Is we are going to try to understand. So before that, rather I would take, it's a small exercise which we will do it together in the middle of the session. So just to move ahead, first and foremost, there are two experiences that we all are constantly experiencing. One is the experience of conflict, and another is the experience of Shanti. So we all experience conflict internally, emotionally, intellectually, socially, economically, at all levels. At the same time, we get tired, we get exhausted, we get overwhelmed, and we want to go back to Shanti. So this is an ongoing process that we are continuously 24 by 7, 365 days throughout our life, we are undergoing this process. So let us understand what is conflict. So as we all know, I wouldn't take much time on the initial slides because we know most of it. So when there are differences in values, needs, expectations, in communication styles, power dynamics is there, and there are contradictory goals, ideological disagreements, we all experience conflicts. These are interpersonal and interpsychic. So we have it within ourselves, we have it outside us. Now, how do we deal with this conflict? The easiest way to deal is to be very submissive, that is, agree to what the other party is saying and say, okay, well, I do that. I submit to that. Passive avoidance is just avoid. Apne aap ho jayega. It will happen. Problems will get solved. Believe me, as it appears, it is not very uncommon, it is very common. Most of us try to do this. Let the time take its own turn. Why? Are we now going to take the responsibility and solve the problem? No, most of the time we choose that path. So that is passive avoidance. Unhappy compromises when two parties don't are not very happy, but still they come to some compromise which doesn't last long. Sorry? That's a different topic. Okay, so win-lose approach and win-win approach. Of course, win-win approach is something which we all try to achieve a golden mean. Now, there are three main theories of conflict. One is cognitive dissonance. This is also a very important part of our experience, that is cognitive dissonance. It is not having connection between our behavior and our values and emotions. Now, this is something which is called to be a hypocrite in a very crude manner. But it is something which we all need to introspect. If I believe in something, then is it coming into my actions? Is it coming into my behavior? Is there a connection? So I'm a Maharashtrian, and in Marathi we have a very beautiful saying which says, "Karta pan walat nahi." That is, I understand, but it doesn't come into my action. And this is the primary problem. We all know everything. The problem is that it doesn't come into action. How to build the bridge between these two things is why we are here, is why we go to spirituality, is why we go to philosophy, is why we go to all humanities. How to build a bridge between what ought to be and what is. So this connection between ought and is needs to be bridged, and that is the role that I feel the academicians, scholars, activists, and everybody we need to try to bridge that. And there is a solution apparently which the Vedic culture gives. We'll come to that later. So this is about cognitive dissonance, then social identity. We stick to one group and then say that we are right and we are superior and we are the best. So that is thing, and that creates conflict. Then attribution. Well, if I do something wrong, then I'm not responsible. Those were the reasons why this happened. So we attribute to the external factors. So that is attribution theory. Now, what are the underlying emotions that are behind this? Growth, that is anger, distress, and restlessness. So as Bhagavad Gita says, Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibrama. Smriti bhanshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So anger is the cause of everything, which topples us downwards. It's like a ball falling on the staircase and it just comes down. So with anger, everything topples down. But that is an underlying feeling of any conflict. It could be covert, it could be overt. Doesn't matter. It has equal capacities. Now, what are the contemporary methods that we follow to solve conflict? Is emotional expression and processing needs to be taken care, about which the emotional in IQ talks about too many theories are here, and how do we handle our emotions, face our emotions, how do we channelize. So it's a whole topic. Then active listening, empathy and compromise, effective communication and mediation, negotiation. So these are certain methods that are used. Now this is an experience of conflict. What is an experience of shanti? Do we all experience shanti? Yes. In our childhood, when when our elders were telling us, sit down and say this mantra, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, that is the first introduction to shanti. Then some of our parents, could be our father, could be our elder brother, somebody takes us to the mountain and shows us that big sky and says, look at that sky and how beautiful it looks. That is the experience of shanti. When you see your first child, that is an experience of shanti. When goals are accomplished, that is a feeling of shanti. All these experiences of shanti are there. We are experiencing it, but they are short lived. And throughout our life, we are in search of this continuous experience of shanti. And this is what is expressed in the Upanishads. This is what is told by the Vedic civilization and culture, that Shanti is not to be searched something outside after something happens. It shouldn't be time sensitive. It shouldn't be situation sensitive. It should be there continuously, now, here, everywhere. And if that is so, it has to be within me. And then how do I realize that? So that is a different shift. That is a different thought that our culture has, but unfortunately, we are not confident about it, and we tend to underestimate that, and then we try to take different methods and typically colonized mindset, where we feel that what others are doing is right, what others are doing is more glamorous, and what I have learned could be that is very simple. Some of my young friends said that mother was the epitome of our culture, but what has changed today? I would say nothing has really changed, but we underestimate our mothers. We take them for granted. And if that is not done, nothing has changed. I feel that is important. So, if that is the case with our mother, then it can be a case with our philosophy, with our culture, with our spirituality, adhyatma, everything. So, let us not take it for granted and just try to explore what it is. So, I would say that Shanti is not removal of klesha and dukkha. It is necessary, but not sufficient. So, klesha nivrutti is not Shanti. Yoga says that there are 5 types of klesha: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. These are 5 kinds of kleshas, afflictions, they would say. But just removal of that is Shanti? No. It is a concrete, positive experience. It is not void. It is full, complete experience. So that is different. So just removal of conflict is not going to establish Shanti. This is period. So if the world is thinking that we'll remove all the conflicts that are existing and then we will experience Shanti, that is myth. That will never happen because that is just removal of something. So removal of darkness is light. Is that so? Or light is there in its own existence? Think about it. You know it well because you are from these fields. So I would not go deep into that. Now, what is an observation that we see in contemporary life? First is each individual is considered a separate entity. This is our contemporary thought, and therefore, this has given rise to individualism. That I am important, I have to say something, I matter, I want to do this. So, this I has become very powerful. Nature and other species are pushed aside by the human centric idea of world. So, human beings matter, nobody else. So first thing what happened was when I came from India to US, the first surprising fact was that I could see only cars on the road. I could see no people. So 3 minutes more. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Then let me not. Well, then you know this human-centric idea of the world. Personal ego is given utmost importance, and material gains and psychological satisfactions through them are considered the goals of human life. External gratification is valued more compared to the internal gratification in the contemporary lifestyles. Now, I would directly come to this nature of Shanti on 3 levels. So, when we say Shanti, 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 it says that Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adhyatmika. These are the 3 levels of Shanti that we have to experience. So, Adi Bhautika is the material, Bhautika life that we all are living. We should have good health, then injuries, environmental challenges, financial difficulties. These are Adi Bhautika. They create a firm foundation for the next level of life, that is. So it is also it also talks about the purushartha, dharma, artha, kama. Artha and kama purushartha is basically adi bhautika. Then is adi daivika. This is about the uncontrolled factors. So when there was pandemic, everybody reacted in a different way. Each people had a different kind of reaction. That is how we react to the adi daivika klesha. So when unexpected things happen, how do we react? When there is tremendous amount of fear around, how do we react? When there is war going on around, how do we react? When there is lightning in the sky, are you excited or are you afraid? So that is a very simple thing. So how do you react to this Adi Daivika kleshas? And if we can settle down ourselves, we can be stable even and in that situations, that is Adi Daivika. And last but not least, I would say is the Adhyatmika. So these 3 kinds of kleshas, they arise within us and we have to overcome them. Now, how do we achieve Adhyatmika? So, Adhyatmika klesha is overcoming the inbuilt restlessness that we have. So, what happens is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we know about the concept of Panchakosha. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. So these are different sheets of our existence. So we either identify with one sheet, Annamaya Kosh, and I say that I am my body. So I isolate myself from the rest of the reality. If not, I identify with my mind that my emotions matter. I feel sad, I feel angry, my ego is hurt, I am this and that. So my identification is mostly on the realm of a mana. Then it is about our intellect. Yes, as academicians and then scholars and everything, we confine our identity to our bundle of thoughts, to isms, to different thought structures, and very irresistibly we try to prevent them. And in that pattern, we might be aggressive also. Why? Because we have attached our identity to only those bundle of thoughts. We are much more than that. So apart from this, then comes the Anandamaya portion. That is the Chitta Avastha, where there is no ego, no aham is there, but just experience of happiness. And beyond that, of course, Upanishads talk about the experience of Brahman, and that is the experience of Shanti. So that is about Adhyatmik. Now, what I want to say is that let us just make it quick because I have less time. I just want you to see this is a path of transcendence. So, in this path of transcendence, what is there? We have to first observe restlessness that is there within us. So, restlessness is there, then it is coming in the observer's mode, Sakshi Bhava, as we say, we have to observe ourselves, and then it is self knowledge. We should know who I am and what is the purpose of my life, and then viveka, of course, discernment, vairagya, equanimity, self control. You would say, why this lady is shifting the slides so fast? But I just thought I'll give you a glimpse of the slides and then let me talk. Okay, so just coming to the point in short is that the word Shanta says that I have to end the field that I am creating. The field, Sham is the field that I'm creating. This Sham is anything that I'm projecting outside, anything that I'm creating in the form of thought, action, behavior. So, as Earth has its magnetic field, we all have our fields of different realms. So when the Rishi tells us Shanti, 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 on all three levels, it is we are coming back, Pratyahara, as the Ashtanga Yoga says, that we are all outward, seeking happiness outside, getting things like we have a feeling of uh, incompleteness, and to fill that, we keep doing things. Now, what to do? Now, what to do? Now, what should I achieve? What is required? I need this, I need that, I need everything. But do I really need anything? Then they say that no, I am complete. So, this feeling of completeness has to be found within. Believe me, if this thought is brought into our system of education right from the age of 2, because these days I see in India children go to school at 1.5 to 2 years old. They are sent. So let us start from there. But I would say even Garbha Sanskar matters. So let us start from there. So if we are given this thought that you are complete, you are happy, you are powerful, and you are fully aware, Sat Chit Ananda, you are already complete and you are here to share. Then the concept of Runa comes in, then the concept of Ruta is also maintained. So I am here to share what all that I have. And if we all are sharing trees, there will be all shadow around. There will be no conflict. There will be only Shanti. So if this thought is brought into education system, then all individuals who grow in that system, see, because many things were removed from our education system, there are scholars with colonized mindset and they are creating havoc. But if right from the childhood, if we inculcate these kinds of thoughts in the parents, in the children, everywhere, eventually after 40 years, 50 years, we'll have wonderful generations to come and they will create a better world. So let us not be pessimist. This philosophy is strong, this civilization is strong, and we all are here to do good work. And wherever we are in our field, we are doing this positive. But let us keep in mind that we are different from the world because we come from a civilization which talks about Shanti, which talks about completeness, which talks about inner tranquility, which says that you are already complete. You don't need to fulfill yourself or make yourself feel complete because you have to get these many things. So satisfied and peaceful people always create better world, and there will be lesser conflicts. So it is as simple as it may appear, but as difficult to achieve maybe. So it all depends upon how much of cognitive dissonance we are going to carry, or are we going to drop it. It's just matter of that. So I think my time is over. So yes, thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Do we have time for the question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfectly on time, actually.
Oh, great. Thanks.
So, firstly, I just wanted to say, filled with Agama Pramanas everywhere. Before I start, those from every sutra I could think of, it was there. I think it's question time. Do you have a question? Yes, sir. I don't think the mic goes all the way here.
Yeah, I will speak out.
It will go. It will go. It will go.
Just walk.
Yeah.
See, you have such a beautiful carriage for conflict resolution.
Uh-huh.
But even in classroom, whether in India or here, perhaps, that is a totally different style.
Mm-hmm.
For conflict and peace and conflict resolution, they have theory, they don't quote it. It's beautiful, perfectly consistent theory with a practical life. But then you go to the psychology department and you study, see their paper. They have a paper, peace and conflict resolution. So, but these are not ever taught.
So, Indian
They
psychology.
only teach this Western development,
Mhm.
starting young
So, I'm a student of Indian philosophy. I'm also a student of psychology because I did my MS in psychotherapy and counseling. So, what I found was when I was doing counseling, rather when I am doing counseling, Western philosophy, Western psychology has its own strengths because they believe in developing techniques, they believe in analysis, and I respect that. But but yes. So, why good communication? Why listening? Why empathy? Why morality? Why should I be good? Why? These questions need to be asked. And if we need to find the answers to this why, then automatically it's a journey. So, psychology is a step which can take us to philosophy, which can further take us to Indian philosophy. So, that is a journey. And one who is integrated into one's own curiosity of knowledge eventually will land up to Upanishads. So,
basic question I will the reward, think of reward. If we believe that we carry these ideas into next in certain form, then I think this will be best don't have answer.
So our Upanishadic philosophy rests on three important concepts. One is the concept of Brahman, that is reality. You could be Advaiti, Dvaiti, Vishishta Advaiti, anything, but ultimate is divinity. We would say that way. Then it comes is the theory of karma. Then is the theory of rebirth, and then is the upasana, sadhana. So all these four pillars form the structure of our civilization.
New generation is going to believe in that there is reward or not.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any question? Yeah. Last question. Anybody? Yes.
So,
Okay.
would you expand on uh, individually? Yes, we all know that we are such ananda, and if we can get to the ananda, um, we are peaceful. But in our interaction with other people, you are peaceful, but the person you are dealing with is not.
Yes.
So, what is your suggestion? I think that win-win solution that Stephen Covey came up with is a very good example. And you have any tools for having Vedantic principle mixed up with win-win solution
Yes.
for interaction?
Yeah. So when it comes to individual life, it's all easy. Okay. So I'm peaceful. I'm happy. I can do a lot of sadhana. Sit in Himalayas and do meditation. Life is well. Though not apparently, but yes, internally everything is peaceful. Then one fine day, the person decides to get married. And then there is family, there are kids, there is society, there is job, there is children's education, everything going around. And every time, every single second, it is an interaction with the other. Now, what to do? How to maintain peace? The first single concept that Vedanta says is that I should stick to my intrinsic identity that we all are Brahman. But at the same time, we should be aware about our Swadharma, that is the roles that we are playing. So if my role is of a father, then I have to understand the scope and limit of my role. And accordingly, I should behave. If I'm a husband, if I'm a wife, if I'm a child, I'm a teacher, we're not gods. We have roles to play. Even gods have roles to play. So every role has a scope and limit. And if we understand that, then we don't encroach upon other people's roles. And that way conflict is managed. So I would say Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika is all about a balancing game. So when we are interacting with others, we have to find harmony, balance, respect. So when we say Aham Brahma, even the other person is Brahman and we tend to forget that. We remember only I am Brahman. But the other person is also Brahman. So let me respect that. And then eventually when I start living with that thought, I start loving others, respecting others. Automatically, it's like the fragrance of the flower which is eventually going to be there. So this inner understanding, if it is developed, then people don't exhibit negativity, but they tend to exhibit more of positive feelings and positive thoughts. So eventually, the environment becomes better. But then there is another word which in yoga says is upeksha. So don't react to everything and everybody. Sometimes it is better to upeksha. That is, do not react. What does that mean? Am I inconsiderate? No, no. I'm just giving them time to grow. Or maybe time to think. Or maybe it is their pattern of living. Let me respect that. So that is not my